Okay, so the before we launch this MPI example, if I go into site configuration and just show you how I set it up. Okay, so if I go down to this MPI demo, go to the MPI tab, you can see I've created a workflow of the things that I might do in my MPI process. So, for example, I might attach a document such as a PO, and Greg's going to be responsible for that. And you can see that under people and groups, under the MPI APQP, I can add people and I can add emails. And you can see that I've associated a lead time for doing that, but I haven't linked it to an app or an Excel workbook. But in this second example, I'm going to launch an app, for example, Balloon and Drawing. Carl's going to do that, and I've linked it to the Visual Fair application. The next workflow item, I've linked it to an Excel workbook and an application. So I've got the Excel workbook and I've got an app. The following one, just an Excel workbook, and then I've got one down right at the bottom here where we're just linking it to a Word document. So you're not just limited to Excel templates, you can also have Word templates embedded in there as well. So let's look what happens when we launch the software. One of the things that you can do in the software is, if I go into Run, probably most people are defaulting on Visual Fair today, but you can see that I've actually set MPI up as my default application. So when I double left mouse click on the part, it will launch the MPI software. So let's just do that. Okay, so the first thing is set a due date. So I'm going to say it's due in next Thursday, and each of the elements that are required urgently. So I've got this one linked to an Excel workbook. The contract reviews required urgently, so that one's turned red. So this top one, attach a PO. I just click on Action and I simply select an external file and then go and grab the purchase order. Once I'm happy that that's the correct one, attach preview to element, and now a copy of that purchase order is linked, and if I click on view, there's a copy of the PO that I've just attached. I can now set that to either work in progress or I can set it to complete, and I'll just click on save. So the status of my MPI, I can use a management reporting, management information dashboard application. So I can import the data from all the parts that I'm working on. I can click on a specific part to see my specific workflow, and you can see you can have different workflows based on different requirements. So I can see it at a part level, an element level. I could even filter by program. So I can have a specific report that I then export to Excel, which is basically a summary of all this data. So your MPI process, you can also report on the back of that. So this next element, launch an application, for example, Balloon and Drawing. So I click on Action. I've linked it to the Excel app, but I could equally just go and grab a Balloon Drawing. I'm going to run Visual Fair. I've already ballooned a few characteristics in Visual Fair, so if I just click on the Drawing tab, you can see I've got a few characteristics there that I've ballooned up, and in fact one of them I've actually put in some data. So I put 5 results, because I'm going to show you a little bit later how you can push that data out onto an SPC chart, for example. So to export the Balloon Drawing, I just go File, Add to MPI, and then just select the drawing, and now it's generating a PDF copy of the Balloon Drawing. So when I click back on the MPI tab, you can see that there's a copy of the drawing, and then I just simply press Attach Preview to Element, and it closes down the Visual Fair software, and it automatically switches from the preview tab, and you'll see in a second it will switch to the status tab, and attach a copy of the PDF that we've just generated from the Visual Fair software. So there's a copy of the document. So there's the balloon drawing, and I'm going to set that to work in progress. So this next element I've linked to an Excel workbook and an application. So when I click on action, you can see it loads in an Excel template, and I've used a customer's Excel template. If I hit Excel, it's actually opened up on my other screen, but I'll just drag it across here. Okay, so you can see that this is a multiple tab form, and I can just go in and make an edit. So I'm going to put 2nd of October 2014 and click on save. I'll close that down, and you can see it actually updates the PDF with that change. Now, as well as making changes and flowing data, you can see the part number, etc., has flowed from the Visual Fair application, and some of this data has come from site configuration. But if I run the Process Flow app, so this is just giving you the concept that it could be any type of app, you can see I've actually created operations, and I've actually created process steps, and within this Process Flow software you can actually link balloon numbers to operations, and you do that by just clicking on, let's just open this up so you can see, you just basically click, you type in turn diameter, and then you just double click on the characteristic you want to turn. So this is a way of just quickly double clicking to set characteristics. Now that data will flow back into the Excel sheet. So if I open up the Excel again and just show you on tab 3, that operation sequence that I want to push into this particular document is flowing in there. But it could be, dimensional data coming from Visual Fair you want to flow into an Excel workbook. So I attach preview to element. It automatically generates a PDF, and it keeps a copy of the Excel document that I've been working on. That's very important, because I might want to edit that document at a later stage. So as well as being able to view the PDF, I can also click on the edit button and go and edit the same Excel document. But if I go back to preview and click on action, you can see that I've got an Excel workbook, and the date's missing now because it's basically a new copy. So I can attach preview to element, and now I've got 2 copies, both created at different date stamps, and I've got essentially 2 PDFs and 2 editable Excels. This example here, if I click on action, all I've done is I've linked an Excel workbook, and there's no application, there's just Excel to go and edit it. Obviously the part number and things can flow down there. That could be a contract review document, for example. Another example is where I've applied a filter to a form. So I'm loading in this Excel template, and I've applied a filter to key characteristic. You can see that it's set there as a key characteristic. So I'm just going to filter it now, and only my KCs are going to be on this particular form. And another example of a filter is by operation number. So within the Process Flow application, I'd already created this operation 40, and if I set the filter to op 40, we get operation 40 filtered into our best practice example worksheet. So what I can do now is go into Excel, and I could insert a picture. So I've got something on my desktop. I'll just drop that into there. My computer's just gone a little bit slow. Ooh. Let's just let go. Okay, so I'm going to click on save, close that down, and then I'm going to click on attach preview to element. So now filtered by operation 40, and I did do one earlier, so I'll just delete that one. So filtered by operation 40 is a PDF copy of the Excel that we created. Oh, sorry, a PDF copy of what we just created, filtered by operation 40. If I click on the edit button, I can go back in there and edit either the process flow or edit the Excel. So that's quite a nice feature. And remember, I was saying that we put some data in one of the characteristics. If I take an action and filter by key characteristic, just zoom in a little bit for you. You can see the data as plotted onto the Excel, and if we open that up in Excel, you can see the data plotting there. So you can actually take data that you've imported from CMM, you've written in using the digital pen and paper, or you've just typed in, and you can flow that onto an SPC chart. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what is in the NPI software. One of the things that's coming in the new version as well, we're going to do it at a later date, is the 3D, 2D add-ins. So that's been able to bring in data from CATIA, an add-in for SolidWorks, Pro Engineer, to name a few. So the ability to just bring things in and automatically balloon them inside Visual Fair, we're very excited about that development, and we've got quite a few people working on that at the moment. So that'll be later this year. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. I'd like to thank you for your attendance, and you know, if you want to visit the website and see some more videos, and perhaps send us an inquiry or give us some feedback, that'll be wonderful. Thanks very much for your attendance today, and look forward to getting your feedback. Thank you. Bye bye.